Today we're comparing the new iPad 11 and the iPad Air M3 to see what the differences are, and I think most people are going to be surprised at just how close these two are considering the big price difference. But let's go ahead and get started. The entry-level iPad starts at $349 normally versus almost twice as much for the Air at $599. Good thing is both of these start with 128 gigabytes of storage, so you don't have to worry about the previous 64 gigabyte option on the regular iPad. One advantage for the Air is you can get a 1 terabyte version versus 512 as the top storage option for the regular iPad. There's also a cellular version of each one. The color options are a little more vibrant on the back of the regular iPad, where they're a lot more subtle, almost like they ran out of paint on the iPad Air. So that's definitely one way to tell them apart. Actually have similar build quality. The iPad Air is just a tad thinner, but not by much. The iPad 11 is also a hair taller and a hair wider as well. Both of these iPads have an 11-inch Liquid Retina IPS LCD display, but a little higher resolution on the Air at 2048 by 2732 versus 1640 by 2360 for the regular iPad. They even have the same size bezels all the way around. Both of these are 60 Hz refresh rate, of course, to try to get you to upgrade to the Pro version. You also have an anti-reflective coating on the iPad Air, but it's still pretty close between these two when you compare them next to each other. They both look pretty good in person, in my opinion. They have similar brightness and viewing angles. I don't think most people will even notice a difference between the two. One advantage for the Air is it's fully laminated, which may help if you do a lot of drawing, but I still wouldn't consider that a deal breaker. Now, when it comes to battery life, I ran my typical battery drain test at 100% screen brightness on both of these, and they're pretty similar, lasting about 5.5 hours for the entry-level iPad, 5 hours for the Air. Keep in mind though, that's a more extreme test, so you can get about double that, especially once you turn the screen brightness down. They also both have 20-watt charging, but if you want the iPad with a little better battery life, you'll want to go with the regular iPad 11. Software-wise, they're almost identical considering both are on iPadOS 18, but you only get Stage Manager on the Air for some reason. You also only get Apple Intelligence on the Air as well. Personally, I don't think you're missing out on much there, but both are good for drawing, taking notes, or just moving around the software, since you can use the same USB-C Apple Pencil on both of these. One advantage for the Air is you can use the new Apple Pencil Pro, which charges there on the side, so you don't have to use a cable like on the USB-C Pencil, versus the first gen Apple Pencil with the regular iPad. You also have Touch ID there on the power button for both of these. It's also nice that you've got video out on both iPads if you want to use an HDMI adapter to connect to a projector, TV, or external monitor. The iPad Air also has an advantage with USB-C 3 versus USB-C 2.0. So you'll notice things move or copy a lot faster to the iPad Air over the regular iPad. But of course, if you have a Mac or other Apple products, you can use AirDrop on both of these, which is really convenient. The iPad Air has Wi-Fi 6E, the regular iPad has Wi-Fi 6. They seem to be about identical as far as Wi-Fi speeds, so I don't think that's going to be a huge difference. You also get 8 gigabytes of RAM for the Air versus 6 gigabytes for the regular iPad. You've also got the advantage for the iPad Air since it has the M3 chip versus the A16. So performance wise, obviously the iPad Air is going to be more powerful in single core scores, but it's about double in multi-core scores and GPU performance as well. I think both of these are really good options for gaming, so I don't think you can go wrong with either one. When it comes to performance or gaming, even though the Air is more powerful, I feel like it's a pretty small percentage of people that would actually need that extra power. But of course, it's going to come down to personal preference and what you need to do with the iPad. You also get 2 microphones and 1 speaker on each side for both of these iPads. So they're going to be pretty similar in how they sound. Here's a quick sample of each just to see if you can tell a difference. When it comes to cameras, you've got a 12 megapixel wide angle lens on the back of both, with a 12 megapixel ultra wide on the front with center stage on both of these. You can also record up to 4K resolution, 60 frames per second for video recording on both iPads. So they're both going to be good options for Zoom meetings or other video conference calls, FaceTime, that kind of stuff. As long as you have decent lighting, I think you'll get fairly similar results when it comes to the camera and video quality. But here's a few quick samples just to give you an idea of what to expect. As you can see, there's a lot of similarities between these two, and I think most people will be surprised at just how similar they are, even though there's a big price difference. In fact, I feel like the regular iPad is probably the better option for most people, definitely has the better value, but obviously they couldn't make the iPad Air too good because then you wouldn't want to upgrade to the iPad Pro models. But if you like tablets, phones, and other tech, I've got a lot more stuff that I'm working on, so keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.